The second gentleman sending out a happy Hanukkah tweet. That's nice. But then he promptly deleted it. Why is that? Well, everyone noticed that apparently he got the story of Hanukkah wrong. It's time now for the other view. So the second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, he's Jewish himself, saying the story of Hanukkah stems from Jews needing to hide for 8 days with just a little bit of oil. But after praying, the oil lasted 8 days. Well, that's not actually the story of Hanukkah. Instead, the holiday commemorates the rededication of the temple after the Jewish militia won a battle. When they went to light the temple's menorah, they found only a day's worth of oil, but when lit, the oil miraculously lasted for 8 days. A little bit of a difference there. How could the first gentleman get this so wrong? Joining us now to discuss is our panel, Project 21 member, publicist Whitley Yates, and the founder of Allison May PR, media relations expert, and our friend Newsmax host, Allison Maloney. Allison, I'm going to start with you here. Listen, I understand people make mistakes, you get things wrong. But when you're the second gentleman, Kamala Harris's husband, he is Jewish himself. Obviously, there are a lot of events happening in the world right now that you're going to kind of want to get that right. What do you think?
Yeah, you would think so. He also was appointed to lead the White House anti-Semitism strategy as well. So if you looked at his tweet he put out, it was very detailed. So when reading it, you think, okay, he knows what's going on. But for somebody to put out a detailed tweet like that and get it wrong, again, this is not, different from anything that his wife does, because she's always taking backstepping and playing cleanup. But you would just think that he would get it right, and he didn't. And then that shows. Also, VP Harris, she tried to explain what Hanukkah meant a few years ago on a video with her husband. She didn't do well either. So
why doesn't that surprise me? I wish we had that video. Whitley, X users, of course, were quick to point out Emhoff's mistake. You know, people do that on X. This professor writing, this is definitely not the story of Hanukkah. And this person saying, how could this have happened? Another saying, how to say I don't know anything about Judaism without saying I don't know anything about Judaism. Again, Whitley, you'd think he would have gotten it right. Should have known the story of Hanukkah, especially as a public person putting it out there during a time of war when Israel is under such a horrible, horrible war situation fighting terrorists.
You would think that he would know it because it's his own culture. It's not that we're expecting him to have read some history books and be able to retell the story of Hanukkah. We're expecting that this is something that he practiced because he does align and is Jewish. I think it's very interesting when we see his daughter saying she doesn't identify as Jewish even though she is, and him not knowing the story of Hanukkah kind of makes sense now. I think it's really sad that he didn't paint the people, the Jewish people, and this holiday as a center of resilience and strength, but painted it almost as if they were a people of suffering and of oppression and victimhood. I'm very sad to see this from the first gentleman, but it is very in alignment with what we're seeing from the White House itself.
Excellent point there, Whitley. I want to get to this. Another story making headlines has to do with a controversial sketch on Saturday Night Live where comics took aim at lawmakers questioning campus anti-Semitism.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Now, I'm going to start screaming questions at these women like I'm Billy Eichner. Anti-Semitism, yay or nay?
I'm sorry, what?
Yes or no is calling for the genocide of Jews against the Code of Conduct for Harvard.
Well, it depends on the context.
What? That can't be your answer, you pen lady. Same question, yes or no?
Well, now we're learning that comedian Cecily Strong, who's been on SNL for quite some time, actually backed out of playing Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, who you saw right there with those shrill responses, again, play acting there, in rehearsals. Now, Strong apparently felt uncomfortable with the sketch, and SNL getting a lot of backlash, Allison, because they were saying that a lot of people saying it was anti-Semitic and actually not giving Elise Stefanik the credit that many people feel she deserves for grilling those professors. Of course, the University of Pennsylvania professor stepping down after that.
Yeah, SNL is supposed to be a comedy And if you look at any of this, what's going on in college campuses, there's no way you can make this funny at all. They should have stayed away from this topic in general. But Strawn she was at that dress rehearsal and she backed out, Katrina, because you said she felt uncomfortable. And a lot of people are saying, well, why did she wait to the last minute? But apparently this sketch is done last minute. So maybe she saw what was going on and said, you know what, I don't want a part of this. So good for her for saying, forget it. This would have been her first appearance back on Saturday Night Live since December of 2022. So good for her for saying, I'm not taking part in this. It was smart.
A good point. And again, having that courage. Whitley Yates, of course, we know that Saturday Night Live does push the buttons. It's satirical. It goes beyond comedy. Do you think this was a distasteful skit?
Absolutely. I don't know any time where we are looking at genocide as something that is funny or something that should be laughed at. I think the entire hearing was completely distasteful of these educational institutions. And so for them to take a moment where I feel like we should all be ashamed and turn it into something that people would want to laugh at, to me, is just not even something that they should be doing. I'm proud of her for standing up and having that courage.
Right.
And hopefully other people will do the same thing.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Whitley Yates, Allison Maloney, thank you so much. Appreciate it.